Telegram. Project Arcturus couldn't have succeeded without you. This will get you a little closer to that dream of yours. It's not the Dallas Cowboys, but it's a start. Drop me a line if you're on the East Coast. Hank Scorpio. Oh, the Denver Broncos.
I think owning the Denver Broncos is pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, explain to me why it isn't.
You just don't understand football, Marge.
What's up, Na Nation? Listeners around the globe, welcome to another episode of Show Us Your TDs. It's your boy Melky, always doing the things the Melky way, with my partner in crime, Goobie. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good right now, kind of winning, doing that Tuesday night game with Derrick Henry. But yeah, I'm doing all right.
Yeah, isn't it crazy? Tuesday night game? I don't think
I
I
think
ever.
it's the first Tuesday night game.
Yeah.
Right? And that voice you just heard is our special guest today. We know him as Destroyer. He's popping his podcast cherry for the first time, but the rest of the world knows him as Kevin. Welcome, buddy. How are you?
I'm good, guys. Thanks for having me. It's nice and bright out here on the West Coast.
Hey.
And, it's about, I don't know, it's warmer here than it is there, I'm sure.
Oh, for sure. It's getting cold over here.
But yeah, no, actually, I have Kevin to thank for getting me into fantasy football. It was him that started. When did you start your league, bro?
I was in my cousin's league for almost 10 years. And then we started a league maybe like 6 years ago. And I think it's the league that you're in right now. I gave it, yeah. No, it's a new one?
I started a brand new one.
Oh, okay.
Because you were on ESPN.
I mean, he popped my my fantasy cherry too, because I joined that league the first time.
Great. Don't say that.
Hey, man.
I mean, he actually popped a lot of people's cherries that year. It was like Mark, self, you, Brian.
You brought us all together, buddy. You brought us all together.
True. All right.
Big happy family. But yeah, no, welcome, buddy. I can't wait to get rolling, man. And let's do it, Goobie.
All right, man. We got week 5 highlights this week. As we all know right now, like we just said, there is a Tuesday night game, so we won't have much on the Tennessee Titans game versus the Bills. But we do have some good highlights this week. Starting off with our Dak Prescott. What can I say? He had a great game. He did the Philly special, and then he broke his ankle. 4 to 6 months, fractured ankle. Andy Dalton back up. What are your thoughts?
I think you guys.
Go ahead, Kev.
I think you're doomed. Honestly.
You think we're doomed?
Yeah, Andy Dalton, he can't play anymore.
I don't know. I think he's still got an arm.
Did you not see those 2 throws at the end of the game? I'm pretty sure.
No, I didn't watch the game. I don't watch crap. So
then why do you watch the Broncos then?
They weren't playing, so I didn't.
Oh, but yeah. So 4 to 6 weeks. So guys, if you have Dak Prescott in your fantasy, you're pretty much fucked unless you are in a small league like us. So I know my buddy at work. He does he's in a 12-team $500 buy-in league. It's a 2-quarterback league, and he has Dak Prescott, and he is fucked.
So
yeah, that's a big blow, honestly. Like, I'm not a fan of the Cowboys, but like Prescott was having a great season,
career season.
He was having a really good year. He was trying to show that he was worth the $40 million he's asking for, and it was just a huge blow. And hopefully, he recovers and plays well next season.
Yeah, and speaking of people who are not going to be doing too well, I guess since Dak Prescott's ankle's broken, he's not doing too well at all. But Dan Quinn fired from ATL. What are your thoughts, Melky?
It's about time. They've never recovered since the Super Bowl. There's no confidence when they have a lead anymore. I feel sorry for Matt Ryan. Got all that talent, and it's going to waste. Quinn, he deserved to get the boot, especially after week 2 against the Cowboys. Yeah,
that was
inexcusable. He needed to be shown the door. So good riddance.
Kevin, did you see that onside kick?
I saw the highlight of it. It was brutal.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Dan Quinn getting fired? About time?
I thought it was going to be sooner. I thought he was going to be the first coach to be fired, but it was Bill O'Brien, and he kind of put a nail in the coffin on that one because you trade away Hawkins as the best receiver in the game right now for David Johnson, who's always hurt, and I think what was it, like a 4th round pick or something.
Yeah, I think it was a 3rd round pick.
3rd round pick. Either way, like you lose that trade 10 times out of 10, and it showed.
I think we said this on one of the podcasts. I think I brought it up that David Johnson, he's washed up, so it wasn't a good pick, or it wasn't a good trade at all. But speaking of another big upset this week, Raiders beat the Chiefs 40-32. What are your thoughts, Kevin?
You know what? That game was not as close as the score. The Chiefs came back a little late, but the Raiders, I watched it on the Red Zone, and the Raiders dominated that game. Like they outplayed the Chiefs pretty much wire to wire.
Yeah.
They expose. I think it shows that the Chiefs rely on Mahomes way too much, and their defense isn't that good. And when you got a quarterback Carr's okay, but he's in a system. He's been in the system for a while, so he knows how to play that system, and they scored points on him. And the Raiders' defense is underrated. They're a pretty solid team. So all he had to do was lock down, and that's exactly what they did.
Yeah. I got a question for you. Would you have still made that Khalil Mack trade?
I don't know. Khalil Mack's a stud, though. But I don't know. I don't think I would.
Yeah, no.
I just think he's one of those players that don't come around too often, and you build your franchise around.
Yeah.
So who knows how good Las Vegas.
Look how good the Chicago defense is now, right?
That's
3rd year in that system, and they're like top 5 overall.
Yeah. And then another big highlight this week, like we're talking about for Tuesday, Melky brought this up, the shuffling of the games.
Well, it's chaotic right now. Look how many games have been canceled, reshuffled. It's a mess right now. I'm wondering if this is going to be the norm going forward.
Yeah. Kevin, what are your thoughts on the shuffling of the game?
You know what? Like, there's a lot of the players are kind of pissed about it because they're taking it as 4th bye week, so it hasn't really messed it up too much. I think the biggest inconvenience would have been Denver and New England, because now they're playing next week, where Denver was supposed to play Miami next week, but now that game's going to be pushed. Denver are now on a 4th bye week this week to play next week because of the pause. It'll be interesting to see if it keeps happening when there's 2 teams with no bye week, so they can't make them do another bye, and it'd be interesting to see if there's that. Right now they're getting away with it, like I said, bye weeks, but going forward, you got to fit that game in. How are you going to fit in 2 games in 1 week? That's you're not going to do that.
Yeah, no, I get that. But yeah, it's hard. They were saying, I forget what they were saying, but I know the NFL was talking about some weird shit with doing I think they said percentages, your win percentage, or something like that. Because if you don't play all the games, they're gonna have to go off of a win-loss percentage, and who makes a playoff based off of that. So if you're 11 and I think there was something if you were 11-5 over and the other team was 12 and 12-6 or something like that, the 11 actually goes ahead. So they're contemplating right now. We're all it's a rough time right now. With everything like football, hockey, baseball, all that shit. Everything's a little messed up. So
with that being said, I think whoever wins the Super Bowl, if they do that percentage thing, it's just there's going to be an asterisk beside it.
I kind of said the same thing with the NBA. I won't get into it, but I think anything kind of like that, like NHL, MLB, and all that stuff. I don't think any of those championships are legit championships right now. Melky, do you have any kind of take on that with the percentages that I brought up?
No, I don't. I just want to say cheers to at least getting to week 5, boys.
Cheers to week 5.
Cheers, guys.
Hopefully, it's we have a continuation. Sorry, of the season, and hopefully, I know if there's a winner, there might be an asterisk beside it. But at the same time, it's football. I love football. You both love football, so let's get it done.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I'm going to go back to fantasy. Goobie, how are you doing right now? I know there's a Tuesday game.
Yeah, well, so fantasy, I kind of had a little heart attack a little bit with that whole Tennessee Buffalo Bills game. Everybody knows I got freaking I'm going to say probably the best fantasy quarterback right now in the league, in Josh Allen.
Better than Aaron Rodgers?
What?
Better than Aaron Rodgers?
Better than Russell Wilson?
More consistent.
Than Russell Wilson? Are you kidding me? Oh my god.
Mr. Bias over there.
You must have picked the Cowboys defense with your 3rd round pick or something.
Oh, God. That was the first year ever. But no, I got Josh Allen. I got Derrick Henry. Everybody knows I have A.J. Brown, who I haven't even started yet.
He scored the touchdown for Tennessee, so you're looking pretty good right now.
Yeah, well, so what I was saying is because I wasn't sure if this game was going to go on, I actually picked up Kirk Cousins. I took Derrick Henry out for a little bit, and I picked up the Chargers running back, Justin Jackson.
Yeah.
And I ended up playing Kirk Cousins. He did well. My whole team did well. So right now I'm winning 137-86, and she's done at 86. So that was first place too. She's now gonna be 4-1. Everybody, just so you know, taking down a top dog over here.
I will say, anyone who had Dak and now they're gone, if you want to pick up a good quarterback, what about Justin Herbert? He's yesterday. He's available in 51. In half the leagues, he's still available. That would be a solid pickup.
Yeah. So sorry, Mel.
Better Joe Burrows or Justin Herbert?
Right now you gotta go with Justin Herbert.
Oh, future-wise.
It depends. I like Justin. I haven't seen too much of Joe Burrows. I watched a bit of the game against Baltimore, and he had what do you have? How many picks did he have? 2 or 3?
Mm-hmm.
He had at least one, but there's that one that was not his fault. You can go either way with them. I think Joe Burrows, if he had better people around him, I don't know, AJ Green, that guy's a bum. He doesn't even want to play anymore, it looks like. Look at that play when the interception, when the guy was running it back and he ran the other direction.
Yeah. It is a mess right now.
Joe Burrows last week Joe Burrows went 19-30, 183 yards with 1 interception. And then I know we're going week to week, but Justin Herbert went 20 for 34, 264 with 4 touchdowns and no INTs. Week to week basis, small sample size. I like to answer that question after the season, but right now I'd probably take Justin.
Yeah, okay. I agree with that. So I am winning. That's the biggest point on this for me. It looks like I'll take 3rd place at the moment, unless the Bills completely fuck up and get 0 points, and then I'll take 2nd. Next week I play the bottom of the list, bottom of the league, so I'm looking pretty good on that one. Melky, what about you? What's your fantasy week looking like?
I just gotta chime in on you for a sec. I love how when you suck, it's you suck. Oh, I want to trade this guy. Henry's not good.
He
Nah,
was.
blah, 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 Ray. But when you start winning, because Lisa has Dak, and that's why you're going to win, because of Dak. Dak going down. No. Hold on. We'll get your turn. I love how you're projecting that you're going to be second and you're going to be third. You're going to move up, but that doesn't mean that you're going to be the king. Mike is still going to be on top. So if I were you, I would be less cocky.
Okay, so I have a question for you. You're saying I would lose if Dak Prescott played.
You would have a better chance.
Yeah, probably.
Do you realize I'm winning 137-86?
Look at Dak's numbers. Look at
No.
Dak's numbers fantasy-wise. Look at his numbers fantasy-wise.
He's at 15 points right now. You add another, 20 on top of that?
At least 30.
Okay, you add 30 on top. I'm still winning by at least 20.
Are you?
And I still got Derrick Henry playing right now.
What did DK do on Sunday?
Who, Metcalf?
Yeah.
He got 21.3 points.
I'm telling you, man. You're only winning this week because of Dak. But
There's
I'll let you have
no way Dak puts up 50, 60 points.
he does put up 50, 40, 50 points. Look at his numbers before he got hurt.
Metcalf went 6 receptions, 93 yards with 2 touchdowns.
Okay, week 1, Dak put up 22. Week 2, 46. Week 3, 40. Week 4, 51. Even if he put up 51 points, I would still be winning.
Yeah,
I'm winning 137 to 86.
But you wouldn't be as cocky. So I just love that your chest is out. But as soon as your boys are injured, that chest swells down.
It's okay. It's okay, 5th place. You can keep talking.
but guess what? I'm going to be going up too. I already won my matchup.
It's okay.
I've already
played like that.
Anyways, how's your fantasy week going? You said you just won, eh?
I already won.
Yeah.
So,
what's your next week looking like?
I got Allen, who's struggling a bit. Good team, but underachiever. So, but he's got a lot of buys going. So I'll tell you who he's got on bye week.
See, that's how the real fantasy, that really shapes how good your team actually is. It wasn't you can still put up on bye weeks.
Yeah.
I think it was good the first 4 weeks, but then
it's the bench players that you need to pick up.
Yeah.
Which I will go into a little bit later on for me. Sorry, go ahead. What's Allen got?
He's missing Waller, Kelly. He's got to pick up a defense. He's missing quite a bit. He's only projected at 81 points. I know it doesn't mean shit all because he'll make the adjustment. He's got Teddy Bridgewater at QB. I kind of like my chances. I got Big Ben, Ridley, Evans, Elliott, who somebody thinks is underachieving. Clyde, Kittle, Gordon. So, well, I like my chances. I like my chances to climb up the standings.
Yeah.
What do you think, Kevin?
Well, yeah. What do you think, Kev? What do you think of the matchup there? Teddy Bridgewater versus would you say Big Ben?
Let's see here. Week 6.
Yeah.
So you got Big Ben going against where are they?
Cleveland.
Cleveland's pretty decent, but it's a division game. And then you got the Panthers against the Bears. I'd take Big Ben all the way.
Yeah. I think Melky, you do have a great matchup there. For you, your pride and joy, I think, is Calvin Ridley.
No, it isn't.
No.
No.
Okay, well, you can say Zeke all you want, which I know we'll get into later, but Calvin Ridley definitely put in points for you. So I congratulate you on that, because would you pick him up 2nd or 3rd?
No, I got him late. I got him in the 4th round.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good pickup. A good pickup. It's an interesting league right now with all this COVID and stuff going on. But speaking of kind of shit, we got a new segment this week.
Why you gotta go to the bathroom?
No. We got a new segment this week. It's called Destroying the Bottom, based off of our Destroyer friend over here. We picked our 5 least favorite teams, I guess, or what we think are the worst teams in the league.
Yeah, the worst.
Yeah.
And Melky, why don't you kick us off with your bottom 5?
Sure. I'm gonna go least to worst. So,
You're gonna go worst?
So
yeah,
5-1.
5-1. Yeah. So
All right.
number 5 for me would be the Jacksonville Jaguars. Minshew's all right. I think he's overrated.
I think
he
needs
needs to line that fucking mustache up, but that's a different topic. But they're just garbage. They've traded away everyone that's good, like that Ramsey trade.
They got nothing for that guy.
No, they didn't. He handcuffed them too. So you know what? I'm gonna put them there. Next, the Denver Broncos.
I knew you had to throw that in there.
Oh, they've been trash for a while, but this year, yeah, I don't know what John Elway's doing. I mean, he's got some nice pieces.
Win, and they've been riddled with injuries.
They're still trash, buddy.
Okay.
I like Jerry Jeudy. Don't get me wrong. I like Jerry Jeudy. Von Miller is obviously a stud, but he's getting older. He's getting older too. I mean, maybe he should just stick to dancing instead of football. But yeah, Denver Broncos are number 4. Got the New York Football Giants at number 3. Man, I would hate to live in New York right now. It's a travesty.
It is.
I've got Atlanta Falcons, number 2. What a waste of talent. Just a waste. Calvin Ridley, Julio, Todd Gurley, who actually looked good on Sunday. Matt Ryan. It's a dumpster fire over there, and it really shouldn't be.
You love that.
And last but not least, everyone's favorite lovable team, the New York Jets. 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 Garbage. Hot garbage.
I couldn't agree with you more.
They should move to the CFL.
I'm gonna go with my top 5. Sitting at we're doing what 5-1, right?
You can do whatever you want.
So yeah, I'm gonna go. I guess greatest, the worst. I'm putting the Texans.
Yep.
At my higher team, but you know what? They have potential. They just need to bring back a top 5 wide receiver.
They also got their first win though.
That is true, but
coach.
They need to bring back a top 5 wide receiver, and they can be middle to top of the pack, I'd say.
Just to say he's defending them by their first win. Their first win was against the Jacksonville Jaguars. So
that's true.
We're not a real big sample size there.
And speaking of, go ahead, Melky. What you got?
No, I'm agreeing with them. I'm just saying they got their first win. The interim coach likes to throw more downfield, whereas the one that just got fired.
Imagine a top 5 receiver to throw down to.
They got some good talent though. Fuller, when he's healthy, is all right. Cooks, when he's not concussed, is all right.
Yeah. But speaking of Jacksonville Jaguars, I have them at number 4 on the spot. What can you say, man? They're just not producing. They're almost like the Jets. Like I honestly wrote nothing down for the Jaguars because it's just kind of self-explanatory. They're shit. The Giants at number 3. I think they need a whole rework done. Defense, offense, keep obviously Saquon Barkley. You need a quarterback. Just saying. But I think the Giants need to rework. It's looking hellish down there. At number 2, I got the Falcons. Hopefully with a better coach, they'll do a little bit better. But because they got the talent. You know, they have the talent there. You know, Matty Ice is getting a little old, but he still can throw. You know, Calvin Ridley, like I just said, is doing wonders for fantasy and just Atlanta Falcons in general. And I feel like everybody's bottom of the list for this segment is the Jets. And that, again, is self-explanatory. So,
Yeah.
Kevin, what are your top fives?
What's your number one? What's your number one? Was it the Falcons?
Number one was my least favorite.
Yeah,
The Jets.
the Jets.
Number five was Texans, 2 Jaguars,
Yeah.
so on and so forth.
Right.
But yeah,
Honorable mention, I like your Houston Texans, so I'm not going to pick him, but I'll piggyback off of you. I think Deshaun Watson's overrated. He's not worth $37 million. Like, if you're going to pay him $37 million, you have to pay Dak at least that. I think Dak's the better quarterback than Deshaun Watson.
But is Dak worth $40 million?
He's worth 37 if you're going to pay Deshaun Watson 37.
is Dak worth 37 with a busted ankle?
See,
Remains to be seen.
what was the actual injury with Dak? I never saw. I thought that he had
Fractured ankle.
surgery. What was it?
Fractured ankle.
Oh,
Fractured
fractured.
ankle.
So he'll come back with that. It's not his Achilles or anything. So
Oh,
he'll come back from that. So at number 5, I gotta pick the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah.
They're just all around really bad on offense. They're basically are high 20s in all of them. They're 26 in total yards, 25th in passing yards, 23rd in rushing yards, 29 in points, and third down percentage. You're tied for 29th. That's bottom tier all the way. Defense, the only thing that's okay there is third down, stopping the third down. They're 16th. So right now I'll go Cincinnati Bengals number 5.
yeah.
Jacksonville Jaguars number 4. I think everyone fell in love with Minshew, and now in the first 4 weeks of last season, he played well because no one really knew what to expect from him. Now he's got a whole season. Guys are looking at film. They're seeing his tendencies, and he's pretty predictable. So I have to go with that. I think he is a big catalyst on that to make him that bad. I've seen him make stupid passes. I don't know how many times I've seen him throw across the field over his shoulder every single time, and that's the worst pass you can do as a quarterback in football.
Yeah.
Number 3, I got the Falcons. They're a mess. They have Matt Ryan, who I know Julio Jones is out. They have all that offensive talent, but then they have no offensive line. They have no defensive line. Their defense sucks. They haven't been that good since your defense coordinator Mike Nolan was there. He was just I think he was dead last, and he hasn't had a job since. And
his last year they were 31st or something.
31st, yeah. And so he's with you guys now. They're still really bad at defense. Matt Ryan, he has no time to throw the ball. And then the top 2, I got 1A, 1B. I got both the New York teams.
You put the Cowboys in there.
I'll talk about both of them. The Giants threw their best punch against you guys, and even with Dak out, they couldn't seal the deal. They're not gonna throw that effort again next week or any other week. They're done. I can see them going 1-15, and the Jets 1-15, if not 0-16, because they always shoot themselves in the foot. I don't know how many unnecessary calls that they have against them, where they would stop someone on third down and it gets called back for unnecessary roughness or roughing the passer. They just shoot themselves in the foot. I'm actually surprised that there's been no firings there either.
I'm shocked Gase is still around because I was calling for his head the first 2 weeks of the season.
Yeah.
They're undisciplined. I got a better question. Who's going to get the first win from the New York teams, the Giants or the Jets?
I would say the Giants.
I
think the Giants are just poor, and they're not that undisciplined. I think the Jets are just too undisciplined to actually come away with a solid win. And Sam Darnold is not that good of a quarterback.
No,
he's hurt, and then your backup's Joe Flacco. I know his frustrations just when he was in Denver. I wanted to throw stuff at the TV every time he was playing.
Shouldn't be the only reason why, but yeah.
Well, yeah.
I do disagree with that though. I think the Jets are going to get their first win actually next week against the Chargers.
Wow.
Wow.
But
Really?
Okay.
yeah, I really do think so. It's a bold prediction, but you know what? You guys know me. I like my bold predictions, and that isn't even my toonie bet. But no, I really think that the Jets can pull it off.
I'll put you on the side on that one.
Four reasons. I'll get into those reasons later. But you know what? There's one person on that team that I'm quite liking.
I'll bet you right now the Chargers beat the Jets.
How
I'll
much?
second.
Okay, $20.
All right, I'm down.
Done.
You have it, folks. We have a bet. Kevin, Goobie, Chargers, Jets. Goobie likes the Jets. Kevin likes the obvious choice, the Chargers. All right, it's in the
I
books.
normally would do that, but like, I don't know how you take that after, especially how the Chargers lost in overtime yesterday. Like, they're gonna be pissed.
Yeah. Oh, you never know. I like my.
You're already agreeing with me.
This is why we don't listen to him. But yeah. But I wanna touch base on Kevin's hoodie. You got the Broncos hoodie. You got the Broncos hat representing Denver.
Another one with the Super Bowl win. I don't know if you guys have that as a recent hat, but
fuck.
No, but we don't waste their money on trash like that. But yeah, as you know, he loves the Broncos. I mean, it's not the real big D in the NFL, but close enough. But Kevin, tell us why the Broncos. When did you fall in love with them?
Honestly, they're my first Pee Wee football team, and I just like the colors. So, I don't know. It's not like hockey.
I like the colors, so no, I'm gonna go with that team.
Well, you know, it's not like hockey where you're kind of born into it, right? It's just I like the colors. And I remember watching on Sunday Football. John Elway was slinging it, and then 98, 99, he went back to back, and then the rest is history.
Okay, who was born into hockey? I hate hockey.
Well, not everyone hates hockey in Canada.
Most people.
Most people hate hockey in Canada.
Oh fuck! You should see. I have so many people I know that won't watch hockey, especially with like what's going on right now. Like fuck, it's terrible.
Bro, you know like 5 people.
I know like 5 people.
All right,
now it doesn't even look like you've left your basement this month.
No, I went to work today.
Okay. So Kev is are your family Broncos fans as well, or is it just you?
No, just me. Like my brother Michael, he'll watch it with me, just but outside of that, no one else likes the Broncos. Like my cousins, my one cousin's actually a Dallas fan, my other cousin's a Tampa Bay fan. My uncle he doesn't even like have a team anymore. It's just
yeah.
Okay, but you do realize the Simpsons make a very good point about the Denver Broncos.
I understand that. I'm not going to argue against the great, but he's wrong.
You know what? I feel like if anybody got an NFL team, I'd be happy getting an NFL team. I wouldn't care if it's the Jets, the Giants, or the Broncos, the Cowboys. But I mean,
an NFL team.
What?
What'd you say?
I said if I could get an NFL team.
Oh, okay.
It's good, but like, yeah, I kind of agree with Homer though. The Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
Owning the Jets right now, you'd probably be losing money.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd want to be anywhere near New York right now. It's dumpster fire. I don't get it. It's like it's the city to be in, where you take pride.
Well, to be fair, they play in New Jersey.
Well, the Jets do.
No,
they
share
the stadium. Yeah, they share. You're right. They share the stadium. Right.
They probably play and then get out immediately and go back to New York.
Yeah, but
absolutely disgusting.
We got our next segment coming up. It's everybody's favorite segment. We get a lot of praise for the segment. It's Boomer Bust People.
All right.
No, it's a great segment. We talk about players that we think are good, players that we think are bad, and we kind of give our little take on why we think that. Melky, you want to hit us off with your boomer busts this week?
Actually, I'm going to give it to our special guest, Kevin. Why don't you start us up, bro?
Kev, what do
All
you
right.
for
I'm
your
going with a bust, and I'm going to go with a bust as a no longer top 5 pick in fantasy football. Like
You're wrong, but
he's still a first rounder, but he's like a late first rounder on a snake draft where you get a guy right away. But I'm going with Ezekiel Elliott as a bust for a premier running back now. And my reasons is he did okay against the Giants, but he still hasn't broke a run for 20 yards. His longest one, I think, is 14 this year. He hasn't had a 100-yard rushing game. And outside of last night or yesterday or Sunday, he's only had 1 touchdown. So his career stats, he's averaging 4.1 yards a game. His career is 4.9. He's always had at least 1 or 2 100-yard games in the first 5 weeks, and he hasn't had that yet. Mike Nolan, his defense sucks so much that it forces the Cowboys to pass because they're constantly behind games, and Ezekiel is not a slanting catch back. He's a power back. And I don't see it unless things change where they're ahead in games and everything like that. I don't think he's going to get the rock. I think he's going to get it between 15 to 20 touches a game. I don't see it. He's torched the Giants. So in 2016, he had 158 yards against them, 104 in 2017, 78 yards in one game, 192 yards last year, and now he hasn't broken a 100-yard game yet. His closest one was against the Giants. And if you're gonna have a top 5 pick, if you're gonna pick him at number 1 or number 2 or 3, you gotta get those yards. You get those point bonuses at 100 yards. You don't get that if he doesn't get 100 yards.
Melky, what do you think?
I was going to ask, do you want to get him or should I?
No, hey, it's up to you. I'll go with a quick little thing here that I wrote down. You know what? With Dak Prescott being out and Andy Dalton in, I think Zeke's going to definitely get more of the carries.
Okay, so what do you think his stats are going to be next week?
Next week?
Or are you guys on fire?
28, 138, 2 touchdowns.
I mean, you do kind of live in a fantasy world, but he's going to break 100.
So against the Cardinals, he's going to get 28 touches, 138 yards, and 2 touchdowns?
And that's including receptions.
Okay. All right.
Well, like the 28 touches, I'll include with. I think he'll have probably 138 rushing yards, probably like 20, 30 yards receiving, but in total 28 touches.
Okay, if he does that, next time I'm on the show, I'll say I'm wrong about this bust.
And you wear Dallas gear.
I don't have any Dallas gear. I don't
go and buy that Dallas gear. No, I'm kidding.
I know someone that wears Bronco gear.
Zeke on your team over here. What do you think?
Oh, he's definitely wrong. And you just alluded to the biggest point. Because Dak was a stat whore and trying to get that money for himself, he's throwing the ball. But Andy Dalton knows his place, and he knows to feed the man. So Zeke's carries are definitely going up. His yards are going up. He's going to get, you know what? I smell 100 yards, maybe 100, 110, 1 TD. Give him 30 yards receiving, and Zeke is back because now the game's going to run through him.
Okay.
So he's definitely a boom. He's definitely an RB1. And I'm not just saying that because I'm biased and I have him on my team. He's an RB1.
I'm not saying he's not an RB1. I'm saying he's not a top-tier pick anymore. I think he could be like 10 to 12 pick, and then you snake draft, and you're on a snake draft, and you get a high second round.
I still think he's a top 5 pick. He was projected at number 3 this year, and I just think he's a
kind
beast.
of hitting the bed.
All right. Yo, just so
he looked good Sunday.
Just so you guys know,
we'll find out.
If you guys are watching this video, you just saw me with eyes spread open, mouth, hands raising. Buffalo Bills have 0 points right now. Goobie's looking to take second place in the league. Just saying that. I just looked at the stats right now. The Bills are getting fucked. And so I'm looking to take second at this moment. I got a text from Alan saying, "What's that?
How long will you last there? You'll probably drop next week."
I did get a text from Alan in our league. He said all you guys are coming back. You're looking like you guys sit at the top. So I don't know. It's looking pretty good right now. But yeah, Melky, do you want to go with your boomer bust? Or you want me to hook it up?
You take it away, bro.
All right, I got a weird one because we pick on this team way too much, but I'm gonna go with Jamison Crowder, and I think he is a boom. Now you may not have heard of this man because if you're not into football fully, also probably because he plays for the worst fucking team in the NFL, plays for the Jets. All right, but Jamison Crowder, he's been putting up consistent numbers throughout the weeks that he's played. You know what? In week 1, he put up 17.5 points. Then he was out for 2 weeks with a hamstring injury. He comes back week 4, puts up 10.4 points. Then in week 5, he grabs 8 receptions for 116 yards and 1 touchdown at 17.5 points. If you're looking at the numbers, he's been targeted an average of 11 times with 7 receptions, putting up around 112 yards a game. Also nabbing 2 touchdowns so far this season. I don't see him as a wide receiver 1. I do see him as a wide receiver 2 or a really solid flex player. Looking to trading for him. You know what? He's not worth much. It's Jamison Crowder. It's the Jets. You probably get him at a low cost. He's only owned in 81% of leagues, which is a 9% boost up from last week. What are your thoughts?
After you.
Kevin?
I think that's okay. I don't really know much about Crowder. Just looking at his stats, but he doesn't really have anyone to throw. Like when I look at receivers, because I'm not in a fantasy league this year, but when I was, I'd always look at receivers, but I also look at the person throwing it to him. And
I agree. I agree with. I kind of agree with that. I can give you the stats right now. Game 1, he had 7 receptions, 115 yards, 1 touchdown. Game 4, because he was out for the 2 games, he had 7.
Was he injured?
He had a hamstring injury.
Okay.
Game 4, he had 7 receptions, 104 yards. Game 5, he had 8 receptions, 116 yards, and a touchdown. So he's breaking 100 yards a game.
Yeah, something Elliott's not doing. Okay.
No, as a flex player, I see him as a.
I think him as a flex, you just don't want to rely on him. You want to hope that you put him in, and if he breaks 15 points as a bonus.
Yeah. But as a flex player, I see him as a great flex player. Wide receiver 2, maybe, depending on the matchups. But I think he's a boom. You know what? And it's looking like that's the only Jet player that you can probably pick up. Melky?
The only reason I'm I'm saying he's a boom is because the Jets have nobody else. And
right?
So I'll give him that, but he's not a wide receiver 2. He's barely a flex. I put him on par with Robbie Anderson.
With two 17-point games?
Nah, the Jets really have nobody, and if he gets hurt again, what do you do?
Also, he's playing your chart.
He's playing the injury at some point. So
they're playing the Chargers next week. So, I don't know. I put him in as like a matchup base. It depends who he's playing. Look at the pass defense of that team. But I don't know. He plays for the Jets. Like that's kind of fantasy cancer in a sense.
That's just it.
I agree. That is the downside. That's why I said you probably never heard of him or just like don't really follow him because he plays for the Jets. But honestly, I'm looking at the stats. I'm looking that he's getting 100 yards a game that he's played in, 2 touchdowns so far. You know what? He's been targeted an average of 11 times, getting 7 receptions. Like,
Oh, wait a minute. I'm just looking
go to that in fantasy.
Wow. Look at the schedule just changed. The Jets aren't playing the Chargers next year. They're playing the Dolphins.
The schedule just changed?
That's changed. So I don't know. The Dolphins looked pretty good against the 49ers last week.
It still says on the score for me, week 6, Jets versus Chargers.
No, I got the Dolphins too. Jets and Dolphins.
On the score app, right?
On the score app, yeah.
For week 6?
Yeah.
Week 6.
Hasn't updated for me then. I have no idea. But even so, like, I still think that he gets 100 yards plus and maybe a touchdown.
Hey,
You know what? Now that they're playing the Dolphins, I would incline to agree about that. Sunny weather, division team. For some reason, guys just like to step up in division games, and maybe he's going to be one of them. I'd fly with him on a flex.
Kev, ask him what team he plays for in fantasy.
What team does he play for in fantasy?
Goobie.
What team? Who play for in fantasy?
Who has Jamison Crowder on their fantasy team?
The Jets.
No, who has him on their fantasy team?
Oh, I do.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Him hyping his players.
Okay.
Just because I'm hyping him up, I'll hype up anybody on any team. But I'm looking at a bench player that I've had on my bench putting up 17 points a game. Pretty much.
This week?
No. Why would I start him? You see who I have on my starting? I put up.
Your wide receiver group isn't that good. You have Thielen.
Yeah.
And AJ Brown. Has he played yet?
I have AJ Brown, who's putting up a pretty good game right now. I have Robert Woods, who's always consistent. And I put in Darius Slayton because he played the fucking Cowboys, and the Cowboys are shit.
Okay, so when would you play Crowder?
I'm going to play him next week.
Yeah.
100% in my flex.
All right. I expect that.
Like, I actually know what though. I might not though because AJ Brown is playing pretty good right now.
Oh god.
So I prefer Robert Woods over Jamison Crowder.
Of course you do. Robert Woods is Jared Goff's go-to guy.
Exactly. So my 3 wide receivers are better than Jamison Crowder, but Jamison Crowder is still a great flex player and or a wide receiver too.
If you need him.
If you need him. I don't need him.
Anyways,
and by the way, because we can't do our bet, I picked the Jets over the Chargers, or the Jets over Miami.
Yeah, I'm not making that bet anymore. No, I have to be the Chargers, man. Because you're so confident about that.
I still picked the Jets over Miami. It's
a division game, man. You stay away. I hate betting division games because you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, but Melky, who's your boomer bust this week?
Well, Kevin touched base on him earlier. AJ Green, giant bust. He had 1 target. I'm looking at his season stats: 51 yards game 1, 29 game 2, 36 game 3, and nothing this past week. No more fat contract for this boy. He's done as a bona fide number 1, even maybe a bona fide number 2. He just looks like he has no interest in playing anymore. So I'm going to label him as a bust. Sorry about your luck, AJ Green.
Yeah, AJ Green, honestly, he went from a top 3 pick in a draft to maybe I need him off the wire for a receiver. I'd rather have Jamison Crowder right now than AJ Green.
You know what? I agree with that, man. He's in total this season. He's got 11.9 fantasy points. You know what? Tyler Boyd looks like the number 1 wide receiver in that offense. And then, you know what? AJ Brown ain't getting any fucking younger. He's 32 years old.
You mean AJ Green?
He just what's that?
AJ Green.
Yeah, AJ Green. He's 32.
You said AJ.
What? He can't keep up with the young ones anymore. And I agree. He's lost the pizzazz in football.
Well, whether it's AJ Green, AJ Black, AJ Orange, they all suck. I would drop them.
Yeah, I would get if you had AJ Green on your team, I would drop him immediately.
Oh, he's been dropped in our league.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, he's definitely been dropped in our league.
Yeah, a multitude of times.
But Kevin, speaking of money and bets and stuff, why don't you introduce our Toonie Bet segment?
I heard you guys like betting. Well, you got one guy who wants to bet the sure game. You got the other guy that he likes to take a little flyer. So let's hear the Toonie bets this week, guys.
Melky, do you want to start us off with your for sure bet?
Well, because I was getting chirped in the chat earlier this week, I decided to take a risk. And I know I poke fun of New York, and everyone thinks I hate New York football, and I do. That doesn't change. I decided to take the Giants over the Washington no-namers this week.
Can I just say one thing before you get into it?
Go for it.
Can I just say how awesome was it to see Alex Smith take snaps?
It was great. It was great.
It's too bad Allen went down from the head-to-head, the helmet-to-helmet. But to see Alex Smith, that injury, no one thought he was really going to walk normal again. That was life-altering, career-ending potentially, and now he's playing again. That was cool to see.
And you know what? I definitely. I always liked Alex Smith as a quarterback. He was a decent quarterback, and it sucks the way his career went with his whole leg injury. And I agree. It was very great to see someone come back from something like that and still do the thing he loves best.
He's been a bit of a journeyman. He was drafted by San Francisco. He got run out of the job from Kaepernick. Gets traded to KC. KC has him for a few years, and then they go with Mahomes, and he gets passed to Washington. Washington was his gig. His first season with Washington, basically tore his leg off, and he was out all last season. And now he's back. That's good to see.
Yeah, no, it's good.
It's a heartwarming story. It's a heartwarming story. But before you guys get into your bets, breaking news. Le'Veon Bell has been cut by the Jets. He is officially a free agent.
Do you think anyone's going to pick him up?
I think he has him in the league. I think he got dropped this week.
No, Kevin Foster has him.
Oh, of course he does. He fucking has shit anyways.
Sorry to take off the point there. Go ahead with your Toonie bet, Mo. You got Giants over Washington?
Yep.
Yeah.
I got the G-Men getting their first win.
Okay.
Hey.
And before the Jets.
Kevin, what's your Toonie bet this week?
I actually have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers over Green Bay Packers. This is the reason why, if Tom Brady and company want to be considered as not as a Super Bowl contending team or even just a playoff team, this is a game they need to win. They need to beat Green Bay. They need to beat Green Bay at home. If they lose this game, I wouldn't even think they'll make the playoffs, because this is a game that they need to win. Green Bay is the second best team in the NFC outside of Seattle, in my opinion. Aaron Rodgers is the bad man, as Stephen A. likes to say. He's back.
He's a bad man.
He has 13 touchdowns with 0 interceptions, and he's coming in off a bye. Or no, yeah, I think he's coming off.
Yeah, they had a bye. They had a bye this week.
So he's coming off a bye, so they're going to be rested. So Tampa Bay, they played the Thursday night game, so they're going to be rested too. I think if Tom Brady wants to have his name and is like, I'm a good player, one of the best quarterbacks of all time without Belichick, you need to beat Aaron Rodgers Sunday, and that's why I'll roll with Tom Brady, because I think he is the best, and this is a game that he needs to win, and I'll take him on that.
That's a pretty big, bold prediction. I like it. I really do. I think, for reasons you've stated, Tom Brady needs to make a statement, and this would be a hell of a statement to take down the 4-0 Green Bay Packers. 5-0 Green. Are they 4 or 5? No, they had a bye week, right? So
4-0. Aaron Rodgers, his QBR is 128 right now.
Yeah,
and like playing lights out. And you need to win this game if you're Tom Brady, Tampa Bay.
Melky, what are your thoughts?
I couldn't agree more. This will solidify Tampa Bay as a contender. They're a contender right now, but championship contender. And what better way to do it than take care of that bad man that Aaron Rodgers is in Wisconsin, in front of those cheeseheads. So Brady needs to not be so senile.
The game's in Tampa Bay.
I was in Tampa? Okay, my mistake. Anyways, in front of the Tampa crowd, Brady needs to not be so senile and remember how many downs he has.
Yeah. Brady needs to realize there's 4 downs in a play.
He's getting old, man. His memory's not there anymore.
Well, it better be sharp this coming week. That's all I gotta say.
But speaking of bold predictions, everybody knows I like bold predictions, and I am predicting that Dallas beats Arizona this week. You know what? I think Andy Dalton, he's not the greatest quarterback, but I think he still has an arm. And I really, really think, like I said earlier in the podcast, that they're going to start feeding Zeke a lot. And you know what? They were speaking about it last game, that they need to start giving him the ball more than ever now. Like, Dak's out. Like, you need to start giving your hungry fucking running back the ball. Like I said, I will predict that out of receptions and rushes, he gets 28 touches. He gets 138 yards rushing. I'd say probably 30 plus yards receiving, and at least 2 touchdowns.
Right.
Over here.
He's gonna have a field day with your secondary. I think Hawkins is gonna ball out. You can double team, triple team him, and then you got old man Fitzgerald on the other end. You're done. I think Arizona is gonna win this game.
Actually, you know what? Sorry, Melky. I know you want to kind of get in on that, but speaking of old men, I really want to do this. Who would you rather on your fantasy team right now? T.Y. Hilton, A.J. Green, or Larry Fitzgerald?
That's a stumper.
Right? Fucking T.Y. Hilton, I'm looking at the stats for me. He's done shit all. Yeah, I don't think he's passed fucking 7 points this year.
Is there a fourth option where I have that empty slot for someone better?
You can get the Denver Broncos as a team.
I said someone better.
But yeah, no, I do agree that you know what, Hopkins is Hopkins. He's gonna have a hell of a game, but I still think that Dallas is gonna run through that freaking defense, and they're gonna put up some points.
Yeah,
Melky?
Arizona's look shaky. The Lions gave them problems, so you know what? Dallas is better than the Lions. I like Zeke to be fed a lot. It'll be a close one, like Arizona, Murray. Like I tried to get Kyler Murray this in the draft, and I said he was a potential MVP candidate this season. But I still think Dallas prevails. It's in Big D. It's Monday night. We got this.
And I will admit. Go ahead, Cap. Sorry.
If Dallas does have a chance, it will be on Elliott because the Cardinals defense is 3rd in the NFL for pass, and they're 19th for run. So it's not dead last like the Dallas defense, but it's okay. That's why I think Murray and Hawkins are going to have just a field day.
Yeah. I will admit I will eat my words from earlier in this podcast. Looking at my fantasy, like I said, I do have one player in the Tennessee game right now playing. Josh Allen, you have 13 points, and it is not looking good for you. It's the 3rd quarter. So you know what? Yep. I will eat my words on that one. He's probably maybe 4th or 5th overall in the league right now for quarterbacks.
Well, didn't you say he was MVP and he was better than Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson?
You
What?
know that he is having an MVP season.
But he's better than Russell Wilson?
No, I just said that. I admit my mistakes. I admit my mistakes. Josh Allen, he's got 12 or where is it? Hold on, sorry. He's got 182 yards right now, 1 TD, 2 interceptions, and a 6-yard run. So he's not looking good this week.
All right.
Nope. No, he's not.
But on that, guys, awesome pod. Kev.
Hey, thanks for having me on, guys. I appreciate it.
Hey, no problem, man. Anytime.
Yeah, Goobie, do you want to add anything before we sign out?
No, other than the Broncos suck. pretty much sums up this podcast. No, it was great to have Kevin on. You know, I haven't seen him in a couple of years. You know, it's always great talking to him, especially about football. So hopefully we can do it again.
So let's try all get together.
Oh, for sure, man, for sure.
Do you want to add anything, Kevin? Like, what are you up to these days? You said you're not in a league this year.
No. Right now I'm just in the suicide pool, and that's it. I haven't. You know what? I was in 1 year fantasy. I think I was in like 6 different leagues, and it just got to be too much. So I'm stepping away from it for a little bit. But I like to get in your league if someone drops out next year. So.
Yeah. No, absolutely. If someone does, we talked about it.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome, man. No, it's again, this is special to me because you're the one that got me into fantasy football. So I appreciate that, and thank you so much for introducing me to it. So thanks, brother. Man.
No problem.
And for you listeners, you can hit us up always on the Wow I Had Mustard Instagram page if you have any questions. You want a Boomer Bust request or Toonie Tuesday bet request. Don't shy, man. We don't bite unless you want a Goobie too. And also listen out for the Wow I Had Mustard episode 8 that's out right now. Big discussion on chips. If you love chips like we do, you'll find it hilarious. So remember, guys, good sex is like a bridge. If you don't have a partner, you'd better have a good hand. Take care, everyone.
Take care, guys. See you later.